Grand evening. Hi, my name is Leonard Munson, the Psychic Astrologer. My website is readingsbyleonardmunson.net. Welcome to Fire Sign Monday from January the 19th to the 26th, 2026. This includes Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. The theme of this week is what have you learned about yourself? Okay, Aries, your solar sun is in the 10th house. The 10th house is Capricorn. Now, the sun is in Capricorn. So, Capricorn represents employment, prestige, moving up the ladder, success, government, corporation, father time, karma, and the things that you have learned. Its ruling planet is Saturn. What have you learned about yourself? Saturn is in Pisces, so you have learned something about how to trust your intuition. To follow the first imprint, hunches that you have, that is correct. You don't want to side off to other doubts and everything. Trust your first impression. Now the moon is in Capricorn. It's in Aquarius. So things are going to happen quickly. So you're going to get the downloads and impression and intuition very quickly. So when you get that, learn to follow through. Don't second guess. Don't third guess or fourth guess. If you do, you're going to wind up in the bad part of the stick. Mercury's in Capricorn. So communication. You're communicating what you want from your practicalness, your drive to achieve things that have to do with employment, success, and corporation and government. Venus is in Aquarius. So Venus is the goddess of love, work, finances, possession, beauty, and luxury. So there's issues in those areas that you had to step back and observe to find out what was really going on. And we have to remember we're in the residue of the 9 year. So it's like sweeping up the floor and sitting down and see areas where there's still dirt at. So you have to go and sweep the revenue up. The 1 year will begin on February the 17th, which will begin with the fire horse of the zodiac sign. Mars is in Capricorn. Your energy level is picking up. You're getting more organized. You'll learn to be more organized and steady running away from the challenges that's facing you, Aries. You're going to embrace it and move it out the way. Because the longer you wait to deal with something, it's going to gather momentum. And it's going to be longer for you to unwind or straighten that issue out. Jupiter's in Cancer, retrograding. When a planet is retrograding, it's moving backwards, reviewing when it was going direct to see what issues that you overlook or choices that you made that was not working out for you. So these choices have something to do with your roots. That's your family. Your foundation. That's your family. Your home. This is your new family, away from the family that you had. The security of your home. And any women issues that you had at that time. All right, Uranus is in Taurus, retrograding. So, again, things are going to happen very quickly, out of the blue. And these are the lessons that what you should have learned. It's to also go back to your work, your finances, love life, possession, luxury, and beauty. And this is where Pluto in Aquarius brought a sudden change in your life. that you had to make these corrections, because if you didn't make the correction, you've been stagnated. You don't want to stay stagnated. You don't want to look back and go back to the past. You want to go forward. Now, the North Node is in Pisces. The South Node represents the lessons you learned in that past life that you have, but you cannot bring them into this life. So now the North Node is in Pisces. These are the lessons that you need to learn in this lifetime. Anything to do with your psychic ability, your imagination, your intuitiveness, and anything to do with emotions. Lilith is in Sagittarius. It means that you want to be more adventure and free from restrictions that society has brought upon you. So you are getting out of the box and seeing things in a different light. Chiron is in Aries. You're using your thoughts, your head. You're not the victim. You're not the wounded warrior. You're not in that flight to fight negative anxiety or scarcity anxiety. You're moving into abundance, positive anxiety, and a survival. All right, Aries? Grand evening. Hi, my name is Leonard Munson, the Psychic Astrologer. My website is readingsbyleonardtmunson.net. Welcome to Fire Sign, Monday, January the 19th to the 26th, 2026. Let's talk about, have you learned anything about yourself in the past year? Leo, your solar sun is in the 6th house. The 6th house is Virgo. It deals with health, work, and service to others. It deals with things in details. It deals with things analyzing. It deals with organizing, doing things in a methodical way, and it deals with numbers. It also deals with making a decision and live with that decision. Get out of your head and stop overthinking. Make it and live with that decision. And it also affects your health, your work, and service to others. Its ruling planet is Mercury. Mercury is now in Capricorn. So Mercury is a planet of all form of communication, transportation, technology, short distance traveling, sibling, mechanical things, things to do with research and investigation, writing, publishing and speaking, and education. So all of these things, what makes you different from last year? Have you learned those lessons, those trial and errors? Are you still going back and going round in a circle? Then we have Venus in Aquarius. Venus represents love, finances, work, possession, beauty, and luxury. So things are going to happen very quickly in that. If you have did the work in 2025, which was a 9-year, the new 1 year will begin really on February the 17th when we go into the Chinese New Year with the fire horse. So we have the residue of the things that you learned about yourself from last year. It's like sweeping the floor and sitting down and still see remnants, a residue left there. So a lot of us are sweeping that floor the second time. Mars in Capricorn. So some of this floor being swept, that your energy level is now pushing in the areas of employment, success, prestige, moving up the ladder, government, corporation, father time, and lesson learned and karma. Now Jupiter's in Cancer retrograding. When a planet retrograde is moving backwards, reviewing when it was going direct. Again, we're looking at the residue. You're correcting things when it was going direct that was not working to your highest good. So now you're doing that and you have the rest of this residue that you're cleaning up in these areas. What it do with your roots, that's your family, what you were born in. Your foundation, that's your family, but you were born in. And the family that you married in or created, security, home, and the women that is involved in this issue. Saturn in Pisces, you also found out that there was people who emotionally was holding you back. They were draining you. They were siphoning your energy. So you are withdrawing your energy and you feeling much better because they didn't want you to move forward because you were doing the work. And some of these were your secret enemies. Now we have Uranus and Taurus retrograding, okay? We know when a planet is retrograding, it's moving backwards from Earth point of view, okay? And you reviewing the mistake that you had and correcting that. Again, we get love, money, work, possession, beauty, and luxury. So you're clearing that out. You're clearing all the residue that's no longer needed. You swept the floor one time, now you're going to sweep the floor again. Neptune and Pisces, there's no more illusion, fantasy, fear, doubt. If you got to do what you got to do, you got to do. This is you want to move forward. And you got to trust your intuition. What you pick up, your gut feeling, follow on that. Don't second guess, don't third guess, don't fourth guess, because that's going to bring you into something that you don't want to be in. And Pluto in Aquarius. So some of these things have been bothering you for quite a while, and they're now coming to the surface. So you're dealing with it. You're bringing freedom and independence. The North Node in Pisces, when the North Node is in a sign, it represents these are the new lessons that you need to learn in this lifetime. The South Node represents the lessons you learned in your previous life. You cannot bring into this life. You have to move on to the North Node. Livers in Sagittarius, you now want to be free from any restriction that society has placed on you. You're not following the herd or the crowd. You're looking and moving outside the box and being your own individual and going on an adventure of loving you and finding out who you are. Chiron in Aries, you're no longer the wounded warrior. You're no longer playing in the scarcity mindset or thinking scarcity. You are no longer moving in negative aspect of yourself. You're moving into abundance. You're moving into a survivor aspect of yourself, Leo. If you have done the work. It's not going to happen if you have not done the work.